I
believe.
Thank you, Ricky. Jeez, man. You guys just sitting there staring at me. I don't even know if I'm in focus right now or I'm on camera.
Oh,
Yeah, am I good? I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah. My mic's not on. Someone's mic's not on. Something's up here.
Uh-oh.
We're working on, we're trusting the process. I think you're hearing me on his mic.
Am I?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. No? Maybe?
No, I think I could hear you clearly.
If you guys can hear me, I hear an echo. We're trusting the process.
Oh, do we have to? Those words are a sensitive subject, especially with the hat you're wearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is someone upset that the Nickies are the champions, the Knickerbockers?
I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I violated the rule. I promised everyone I was not going to talk about the Knicks. And here you go. You got me talking about the Knicks. So my apologies.
Yeah, that one's on me.
Yeah, you did. You set me up.
I'll own that one.
It's all right. Welcome in. This is WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. I'm joined here by Ricky Turner, our executive producer. I am joined by Nate Johns, our wonderful intern from Penn State University. We are?
Penn State.
I'm not, but it's okay. You can be. All right. Welcome in. As you guys can tell, it was an exciting afternoon here in the sports department, even without a whole lot of action going on in the afternoon. Listen, there's action going on right now. We got people at the North-South District 4 All-Star Game. That's happening as we speak. So that's going to be a good time, and make sure you tune in at 11 p.m. for that. But this afternoon belonged to the Outlaws. This afternoon belonged to the Red, White, and Blue. This afternoon belonged to Team USA. And it was a good showing. What'd you think?
Yeah, they looked really good.
You sound excited about it.
I am excited about it. I always sound this excited regardless of what we're talking about.
See, there you go. Now put some bass in your voice. You had it there.
But for this U.S. team, you go into this game without Christian Pulisic, so you're dealing with injuries at the midfield. And you saw the defense and the back line really step up today. They shut out Australia 2-0. Not quite the offensive explosion that you saw, but Australia also had a strong showing, a little bit of an upset in their first game against Turkey. So big win for the Red, White, and Blue. And advancing.
I'm sorry, what'd you call them?
The Red, White, and Blue?
No. The other team.
Turkey.
You're going with the proper pronunciation? I appreciate it. How do you say Côte d'Ivoire?
I'm not botching that one.
You're not doing it? You're not trying?
Côte d'Ivoire?
Côte d'Ivoire, yeah, Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Or what was it?
Cabo Verde as well.
Yeah, that was the other one that I forgot about. Everyone's saying their name after they draw with Spain. But get back to the Outlaws. Ricky, what'd you think about today's game?
It was impressive. Again, the theme of these first two games is they got off to a quick start. I think their goal came around the 10-minute mark. Ironically, an own goal, but still set up by a very good offensive possession. And it's really a new style of play for this United States team. They in years past, they're used to sort of just sitting back and sort of letting the game come to them, playing a more defensive play style, winning on the counterattack. This style has been a little bit contradictory. They get up, they run, they pass efficiently, and they force the opposing team to make a mistake. And also in the second half, got a little bit more chippy, got a little bit more physical.
6 yellow cards, I think, in the second half.
It wasn't necessarily a pretty win like in their first game where they went up 4-1, but certainly a game where they won. They won physically. It wasn't pretty, and they also clinch berth in the round of 32, one of only 2 teams to do so. And I believe you said earlier.
First time that they have ever clinched after just 2 games. This is the first time the United States has clinched a spot into the next round after just 2 games. And depending on that Turkey and Paraguay game, Paraguay. If we're going to do it, we got to do it. If depending on the results of tonight's final game of the night in Group D, they could be the Group D winners by the end of the evening without even having to be on the pitch for a third game. I mean, again, at that point in time, the advantage that it gives you to not have to worry about Christian Pulisic and whether or not he's going to play in group play, give him another week or so off, give some other players a chance, get Gio Reyna a run again as he had most of today off. He came in as a sub. in the final stoppage time minutes. But you give some of these players an opportunity, you give them a chance to get some World Cup experience, and that's going to be exponentially beneficial for you as you head into the knockout rounds. Not to mention the fact that, again, as a group winner, you're going to get a third place team instead of a second place team in the round of 32.
Yeah, that's always super beneficial, especially again for USA team that's hoping to make a run. You want that lower ranked team in another group. You don't want to face the first or second seed in a really tougher group per se. You want as good tough a ride. You want to make it into the round of 16 if possible as well. But yeah, I mean they've looked really strong thus far. They've again Paraguay was I think a little bit of a better team than Australia, even though the scoreboard I don't think displayed so. But again, I think their toughest opponent is also still ahead of them in Turkey. So we'll see what this game, this coming game, if it does mean anything for them, reveals.
Yeah, and then looking potentially a little bit ahead to the knockout round, a lot of people have seen matchups between a potential third place team in a Group A between Bosnia-Herzegovina and potentially Qatar, but neither of those teams looked particularly good the other day when they got their second games against the Swiss and the Canadians as well. So should be a helpful draw for them and a U.S. team that expects to make it out of the round of 32. They're thinking now potentially even pushing into past the round of 16 into the quarterfinals. And when you have that momentum going and play with that kind of confidence, you're dangerous for anyone you face, and you're getting experience as the tournament goes along.
Well, I don't think that pushing past the round of 16 is asking too much. I think that that's what the expectations were for this team as they came in. I know that they hadn't been playing well over the last calendar year or so. And again, same thing with Pulisic not scoring any particular goals in more than a calendar year. But then, of course, he does so in the friendlies leading up to it. But ultimately, I think when it was announced that this particular year's World Cup final was going to be here in the United States or more North America, when you looked at the generation of soccer stars that were coming up and where they were playing, not just in MLS, but getting opportunities to play in the Premier League, in La Liga, in the Bundesliga, you saw this group of individuals who needed to take momentum from what was being built prior with your Donovans and your Clint Dempseys and your Tim Howards to a place that necessarily a group of 8, a quarterfinal, should be the expectation. And at this point in time, when you start breaking it down, and we were doing this a little bit earlier in the newsroom, when you get to 8, you're looking at teams like France, Germany, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Portugal, maybe England. That's 7 right there. Mexico, possibly, depending on how they play. So, I mean, to make it into that group of 8, you're going to have to beat a power or a blue blood. And it's something that's the next step, because the United States has been to the quarterfinals before. The knockout stage round before. The United States has had the Netherlands on the ropes and then just couldn't make it to the next round. So I think ultimately at this point in time, with the fact that they are playing the way that they are, with Pucatina as their manager and the experience and where he's gotten to both internationally and at the club level, group of 8, I think it has to be the minimum expectation. I don't think that a trip to the knockout round, especially when the knockout round is now 32 instead of 16, has to be the expectation or the standard that USA Soccer sets.
Yeah, and especially you've seen some of the teams that are the favorites coming in struggle. We talked about Spain. Belgium's a team that the United States could potentially match up with in the round of 16, but they haven't exactly looked like themselves. Morocco's been one of the few teams I felt that's really stood out in this tournament. So it really is anyone's game at this point. And when you have that home turf advantage that only one team ever can really have, you are playing with that, but also you're a little bit worried about the expectations, but the morale around the team seems to be pretty high. I mean, they were talking about on the Fox postgame panel, they think there's a non-zero chance that this U.S. team can possibly win the entire World Cup, which may be a bit of a stretch, but the way they're playing right now, again, if you get that momentum, that can take you incredibly far.
Why do people got to mess with the headphones in here?
Oh, is it good now?
It wasn't the microphone. It was the headphones.
Okay. Because I sort of had to adjust, but glad
No, you're fine. I understand why you took me off camera. I understand why you went to yourself. I'm just saying, like, you and me spent how long the other night cleaning up all the wires, making sure that everything was straight, making sure that the mics were labeled correctly.
Good, which like 15, 20 minutes.
They weren't this morning. Or as soon as we came in here, the mics were all in different places. What are we looking at? We're looking at 8:11. Let's go to break so we can regroup here and make sure that we have everything in place. We're going to do a little extended World Cup coverage tonight as we're hoping that we're going to get a chance to get out to a post-match in Seattle. So let's regroup, make sure that we're on all the right mics and the right headphones, and we're going to be back here in just a few moments on WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. I overslid. I don't know how he does that so well. He gets it right every time. He's like Mr. Perfect with the towel. How impressive was that, by the way? If you call yourself Mr. Perfect, you have to get it right every single time. And 360 days a year, that man traveled the United States and he'd spit the gum and hit it, and then he'd throw the towel behind his back. And I never saw him miss because he was Mr. Perfect.
Absolute legend.
I was going to say, do either of you even know who Mr. Perfect is?
Yes,
okay.
I know of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
If I showed you a picture of a W, and inside the W was the Knicks logo, and underneath it said Shaolin, would you understand what that is?
No.
Oh, my God. Wu-Tang's supposed to be for the children. I don't understand why people. Did I say Knicks again? Is that a fine? That's a fine. Okay. Sorry.
Get a job.
All right, let's get back to the World Cup. Nate, you were making a point about the World Cup and seeding as we get ready for the knockout round and the round of 32 now instead of round of 16.
Yeah, going back to looking at potential matchups for the U.S., it's likely going to be somebody out of Group A if there is a third place team out of there. Although, again, with the goal differentials from yesterday's games where it was 6-0 and 6-1, that maybe that's not going to be the case anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see how the bracket unfolds because we still have 2 rounds of group stage games remaining before we can even start thinking about those third place teams. But I was talking a little bit about Scotland and Morocco as well. Morocco with a 1-0 lead. They're a team that really stands out to me for.
They closed that. That's they did get the win today.
Yeah, that Morocco team is floating around a lot of top 10 rankings. They're a team that really feels like a dark horse to make it into the round of 8. They've been in the World Cup before. They've been on this stage, and it feels like they could be one of those teams that goes on a deep run and wins a whole lot of games and could even find themselves in the round of 8 and potentially push their way through to the semis.
Yeah, Morocco played really well recently, and they I wouldn't even say that they're a dark horse anymore. I think they've made their name known and made themselves understood as one of the better teams across the globe.
Yeah, Morocco, again, had a tough 1-0 win against Scotland. They scored early, got in the second minute because you had to update your...
yeah, I came out and I was
graphic.
like, what the...
But, yeah, they got off to a really quick start, and then Scotland had a couple chances, but for the most part, Morocco, as small as it is, they're again a borderline top 10 team. They've had 2 impressive performances thus far, and I think they're waiting on tonight's Brazil Haiti result to see if they could possibly clinch a result or clinch a spot in that round of 32 as well. But
yeah, because Brazil did not look strong at all in that first game.
No, so and again, they're a team that could be in consideration for the 8 best teams, but after again that one performance they've had, was not pretty. It did not go well, and they're really hoping for a bounce back game against Haiti, who again, although the score sheet shows differently, they hung around in that first game. They played a lot better than I think people realize, and Haiti's not going to be a pushover. So Brazil's going to really, I think, have to win some fans back if they're going to convince people that they're capable of another deep tournament run.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially after their performance against Germany a few years ago, and now without having Neymar in the lineup as well at the moment with his injury. He's not even traveling with the team. But yeah, I mean, just in general, the expectations are so high for a team like Brazil. The expectations, are World Cup more or less or bust, and World Cup finals. Because again, we are in the World Cup final. The people understand that and need to understand that the teams that make it here are in the World Cup final. The World Cup actually takes place over several years as teams build up and qualify for the final tournament here. But yeah, I mean, leading up to it, there was tensions in the Brazilian national federation. There was tensions with their stars and how much they were playing and where they were playing. And when you look at some of the other blue bloods around the world, you look at France right now with Mbappe, who is just rolling, and they were, penalty kicks away from winning it 4 years ago. Speaking of 4 years ago, I mean, Messi looks still just as good as ever, which is just incredible that he's still playing to that extent. The Three Lions looked spectacular as they doubled up. Did they double up Bosnia-Herzegovina in the first round? But they won 4-2 in the first round as well. Croatia, which is a strong team. Yes. Croatia is a strong European team. Again, Spain didn't look the best, but they are one of the best teams in the world. And people have trouble playing against Spain. I mean, a 1 or 2 goals for the Spanish team tends to get it done. Germany is just an absolute power. And has looked like a power for a couple of stretches now. Like I said, Mexico always plays well and always plays well in Mexico. So again, that's going to be a tough team to beat when they are a host. Canada scoring 6 goals in the first round looked incredible. The Swiss looked really, really good. So there's a ton of teams. And I didn't mention teams that are traditional powers that did not look good, like Portugal, like Brazil. So, I mean, it is a stack competition. And as we were talking about going into the next round, and as we were looking at it, depending on what happens tonight with Turkey and what happens tonight with Paraguay in that matchup, if we were to say that things hold and as USA gets the matchup and the win in Group D, as they are the only one with 6 points at the moment, so even Turkey or Paraguay will only have an opportunity to get 3. You look at the moment, that would set them up for a matchup with a third-place team, which could possibly Bosnia-Herzegovina, which you had mentioned, who looked like a solid team. They were playing well for most of their first matchup before things kind of unraveled on them. But if not Bosnia-Herzegovina, because, again, this is based upon goal differential and in points inside of group play. It could also be a team, an Ecuadorian team, or what could be scary is a Japan or a Netherlands team who both looked good in their first matchup, being out of Group E or Group F. And then again, you look at the other possibilities, not as scary as it's possibly a Jordan or a Senegal or Algeria even, but necessarily, I mean, depending on what happens in Group F with Sweden and Japan and Netherlands, or Group E with Germany and Cote d'Ivoire and Ecuador, I don't really want to see any of those teams out of Group E or Group F in the next round.
That Senegal matchup really scares me. Senegal loves to play spoiler, especially in previous rounds of 16. They did it at France's expense back in 2002. And then looking at some of those other groups, there's not a lot of fun matchups there. I mean, of course, at any point you're cutting the bracket down. I really don't think you're going to see a third place team out of Group D. Even the second place team, I'm not expecting to go particularly far. And then you look specifically at the group with Japan, with the Netherlands. That could be a very big trip up spot because Sweden could also be the third place team out of that group. Of course, they won their first game, but they dominated a Tunisia team that's probably not going to be around for very long. And so they could even fall into third place as well. So that Group F is definitely one to watch for a potential team to fall out of. That could be a tricky matchup.
Ricky, are you impressed so far through 2 games with just the way that the team is playing no matter what? Or do you think that they are kind of in a weaker, obviously they're not in the group of death, and I understand that, but do you think that they're in a weaker group right now and maybe we should hold back our expectations at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't think it's a particularly strong group. I think again they are having the benefit of again Australia, who's not known as a traditional soccer powerhouse, Paraguay, who's usually solid, but again not one of the better South American teams. And then of course you have Turkey, who again probably will be their toughest matchup. But overall, again, I still think this is probably, in terms of talent-wise, this is one of the better, most talented USA teams we've seen in a while. So I also think there's that reason.
I think ever.
Yeah, this is, as you said, this has been called the golden generation. This is supposed to be the golden era of U.S. soccer, and the expectations are still there. This is a team, I think, as you mentioned, the round of 16 is what most people are expecting. Anything beyond that, then I think would be deemed a success. But if they fail to get past the round of 16, I think they would probably meet expectations, but and then that would probably raise expectations going forward. But
do you think, I mean, you don't think expectations have already been raised at this point?
With the way they've played, yes, but I also think, again, they've played well. Don't get me wrong. They've looked really, really good compared to what they've done in past years, but they're also, again, not playing, as you mentioned, one of those blue blood teams in their group. So I think that is also really playing to their benefit too.
All right. So we have gone for 25 minutes straight on soccer here. How about that?
Yes.
Sorry, we have gone for 25 minutes straight on football here. How about that?
Been fun.
And we're not going to stop, are we?
No, we're not.
Yeah, all right. We are going to take a break here. We're going to take a couple of moments. We're going to take a hydration break.
Yes, we are.
We're at the half. We got to get a hydration break in. But more importantly, we got to test our system.
Yes, we do.
And we got to see if this is going to work. Because we've been trying, and I think we've been upsetting our bosses. But we're going to keep trying. And when we get back, when Ricky and Nate and I myself get back, we are hoping to go ahead and get a conversation out of Seattle. And it may just be me talking, and maybe all of us talking, and maybe a taped conversation, and maybe a live conversation. We don't know. But what do, boys?
We trust the process.
See? Gotta be learning these things.
We trust the process.
We will be... we don't trust Joel Embiid. We just trust the process.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay. We trust Karl Anthony Towns. I didn't say that. All right. We will be back in just a moment here on WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night. I love live TV, gentlemen. I do. Like, listen, things didn't work. It is what it is. We figure it out. We move on. We trust the process, all of that. I feel bad as Troy. I'm sorry, what was Troy's last name, Ricky?
Troy Hirsch.
Troy Hirsch was set to join us. He is in Seattle. He is live, doing live shots across the country for Nexstar. Yeah, that's the one right there. Doing across the country for Nexstar as he was getting post-game and as with Team USA throughout the afternoon. We were expecting to have him on live, and unfortunately, audio was not working. But we were able to connect with him earlier, and he was able to record a little bit of something for us as we get you and continue our post-game coverage of Team USA.
No Christian Pulisic, no problem for the United States. Playing without their star forward due to a calf injury, the U.S. still had plenty of scoring chances and netted 2 first-half goals to beat Australia 2-0 and improve to 2-0 in World Cup pool play. Coming off a 2-goal game, Fowler and Balogun set up the first score by centering a pass that an Australia player redirected into the net for an own goal in the 11th minute. Then right before halftime, 21-year-old Alex Freeman, the youngest player on the U.S. roster, crashed the net off a deflection for a header to give the U.S. an insurance goal. In the second half, the U.S. out-irritated a Socceroos team known for its peskiness. With physical play on and off the ball, the defense held strong, and goalie Matt Freese posted the first U.S. clean sheet in their past 10 matches. All this came before a raucous full house of more than 66,000 fans at Seattle Stadium.
I think we're a team that can show that we can do it all, that we can do both. We can play the physical game because we have guys on the field that are ready to step up for that, and we have guys with quality that can also play possession-based football. So, the game went as expected.
It just tells you, how quick stuff can change, right? To not doubt yourself. Even though, 2 years I was obviously in next pro, now I'm here. I think that shows you that you can never give up and keep pushing, right? You never know what chance you're going to get in.
Every time he sees Freeman, Coach Mauricio Pochettino falls in love with him a little more, saying Freeman has a chance to become the best player at his position in the world. The victory now gives the U.S. back-to-back wins in a World Cup for the first time since 1930. And now, depending on what happens tonight between Paraguay and Turkey, the Stars and Stripes could also wrap up first place in their pool before they even wake up tomorrow morning. In Seattle with the U.S. soccer team, I'm Troy Hirsch.
Troy, thank you again, and we appreciate Troy's efforts trying to connect with us live here at 8:30. We're going to get this down at some point. I'm determined to figure it out because I know it's doable.
It is doable. Yeah, I just need to figure out.
That's all right. We're going to get it done. We'll get it done. What do?
We trust the process.
Thank you. The intern's learning. Let's shift gears. Let's shift gears. Let's go from football to football.
That sounds good with me.
Ricky, how was your day?
Good. It was spent at a local QB camp, so can't get much better than that.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night. Pete Cordelli, correct? Quarterbacks and wide receivers coach from Notre Dame.
Yes, Pete Cordelli. First of all, yesterday, obviously, he spoke with a few students, some coaches there, some Notre Dame fans about his book. Touched a lot on his experience with coaching under Lou Holtz, the scouting process, and sort of some of the stories that I think most resonated with him and probably the people there about coaching under Lou Holtz and how great of a school that Notre Dame was.
How do you feel about the fact that there was a Golden Domer here in Nittany Lion Nation?
It's a rivalry that takes over Northeast Pennsylvania in the football season. It's a little weird that, there's people that are fans of a school that's thousands of miles away when you have one that's 120 miles away, but to each their own, I suppose. We're not here to judge, but it's always incredible.
Do you think the national championships had anything to do with it?
Yeah, they could have, but they were successful around the same time period.
Do you think the fact that one was exclusive on NBC had anything to do with it?
Oh, without a doubt.
Do you think Notre Dame will ever decide to join a conference?
No. Not as long as they keep collecting those NBC checks.
No, I think that's the one where I'll disagree with you on. I do think that Notre Dame at some point will join a conference, only because I do believe that the Super Conference it's on its way. The Big Ten, SEC, Big Ten, SEC.
Big 12. I think that's where it stops, and then throw in Notre Dame, and maybe they poach some of the schools that they want.
Well, Miami's still in the ACC.
Clemson, Carolina, even then.
I mean, all right, at this point in time, and no, this is a good conversation because you know what? We're getting ready for NCAA 2027 to drop. Yeah, yep. 2027 to drop. Ricky, you an NCAA guy?
Yeah, I've gotten it since it's come back out.
Put us on a 3 screen. We're talking video games here. Don't just center on me. You a NCAA guy?
Yeah, I've bought both copies since the relaunch.
I hate him.
What?
I've won both copies.
Hey,
Yeah, I waited 14 years. I played the ones with Denard Robinson on the cover.
Oh yeah, I
I
played
didn't
that
start
too.
video games until 2015.
You weren't born when the Denard Robinson one was on the cover.
I was not.
That hurt. I was being sarcastic, but he was being serious.
I'm probably joking.
2014.
Yeah, I was 8 years old.
Oh, I still hate you. I was graduated for college from 8 years. So, all right. So we're talking about this. And I traditionally, whenever I get going for NCAA, I will do my dynasty and I will customize the conferences and I will create more historical and realistic conferences based on geography. And traditionally, there's 6 conferences. Well, 5. There used to be 6. But traditionally, when you talk about the power conferences, yes, you had the SEC, and yes, you had the Big Ten. And for you who's, Mr. Big Ten. Okay, can we just flash back 5 years ago when Big Ten offenses were absolutely atrocious? It was awful to watch. There was no quarterback play whatsoever. Like, don't be on your high horse, Mr. Big Ten, because you've gone back to back to back national championships. There was a stretch where y'all would play SEC teams and score 3 points, where you would all be Iowa against SEC teams.
I don't like the rest of the Big Ten. That's fine.
Would you ever wear a shirt that had a Big Ten shirt that had a Michigan, Ohio State, and an Indiana logo on it?
Absolutely not.
Would you? Okay. Well, they were selling them this year.
I know.
All right, but as I was saying, you had the SEC, you had the Big Ten, you had the Big 12, you had the ACC, you had the Pac 12 or 10 or whatever you wanted to call it. And then there used to be the Big East. So there was 6 power football conferences. And traditionally, when I get into the NCAA video game, which I will be doing shortly, I still have yet to play James Bond, by the way.
Oh, you still haven't yet.
If
Haven't found the time?
I'm tonight is the night. I'm telling you, I'm literally doing work. I'm loading stuff up in between the breaks on my laptop over here. As long as I can get some stuff done by 11 o'clock, I think I can get some Bond in tonight, even though I have to work until who knows when, but that's a different story. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get myself in trouble. I love my job. I do love my job. My job is awesome. Nate, you were watching me today, and at one point in time, I looked at him. As I was just sitting there, I was watching, I had the World Cup on one screen.
I saw they were putting a TV back there.
Yeah, they fixed it. Yes, they fixed my TV. No, I've always had a TV. We've always had a TV in the sports department. I just finally asked Sam to fix it today. So yes, we had the World Cup going. I needed to watch the USA. It was for work purposes. I said this.
Yeah.
What sports director doesn't have a TV in his office? It was for work purposes.
Yes. Keep up on the USA game so we can keep up on the scoreboard.
I had that on one. I had the Rail Riders on another, and I had the U.S. Open, which you can watch all weekend on WBRE channel 20. Well, actually, no, it's not channel 28. What channel is BRE?
No, that's 28.
Is it 28?
Yeah,
Okay.
WYOU's 22.
Okay. Well, it's like 12 and 13 in here in this box or whatever cable
I think
company
it's
we
direct.
have.
I think that's the direct TV.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what we have.
Yeah, up on the desk it is.
Okay.
It's 28 and 22.
Yeah, and you can. Hey, actually, no, I love the U.S. Open. You can watch the U.S. Open all weekend here on WBRE, as the WBRE news is today was digital on CTV and on WYOU. And speaking of digital and on CTV, we've been going for about 18 minutes. We probably need to take a break, don't we, Ricky?
Yeah, probably just to keep on track.
Do we have how many breaks have we taken? 2 or 3 so far?
But we've taken 1, 2. Yeah, we've taken 3.
Okay, we've taken 3?
Yes.
All right, so we got to fit a 4th one in, right?
Yes.
We do 5 segments?
Yes.
So we still got a little while, right? No, how many segments are we supposed to do?
We do
5.
4, four breaks, 5 segments.
All right, and we've
At least that's
taken
what
how
we've
many
been-
breaks?
We've taken 3.
People love this conversation right now,
Yes.
huh? They're so tuning in for this. Yeah. So, all right, well, we got a couple more minutes. All right.
Back to the Big East.
No, back to video games. All right, so when you turn on NCAA, when you go with your dynasty, what you rock with? How do you go traditional set up and just don't change anything, or do you move the conferences around? Do you create the conferences of old?
Yes. For as much as
That wasn't a yes or no question, so I don't know what your answer was.
For as much as we are going to sit up here and make fun of the fact that I am 20 years old, I do prefer my more traditional.
I don't make fun of it. I'm jealous of it. Okay.
I do go back to the ages of the Pac-12. I do go back to the Big East because I do miss that conference, especially for football.
So what conference do you make the Big East? Because I usually will make it the AAC. Either there or Conference USA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say Conference USA.
Oh, you go with Conference USA?
Yeah. Just because I like some of the programs in the AAC, they could stick around. The Conference USA, I could finagle around with those a little bit more.
Yeah, Conference USA feels like it could be anywhere or everywhere.
It really is.
Obviously, you play with Penn State, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for the most part.
If you have a team that you're gonna bring up from the ranks, do you? Obviously, it's not Penn State.
No.
Well, this year it might be.
Eh.
Who do you mess with?
I say for me, it's Texas State.
All right, the Bobcats.
Yes.
Yeah, I like them. All right, Ricky, what do you like the new conferences, or do you go with the traditional or old school custom conferences?
I don't like the conferences, but I keep them the way they are. And
You're such a purist, man. You were like this last night with baseball.
Well, yes, I'm very, very purist, but yeah, I keep them the way they are. Again, I don't like. I would have rathered keep the Pac-12, and again, maybe I'll do that in this upcoming college football. Now that you've given me this idea.
Yes.
But yeah, I usually keep them the way they are. I usually don't choose a good program anyway to begin with.
Yeah, who you go with?
I usually choose a different team every year. The first year came out, it was Temple.
Okay.
So yes, Temple. I've got the. What is it? Yes.
Yeah.
I've got the I've gotten the.
Yeah, you gotta do the reverse.
I've got the AAC Big East ties, however you want to put them in there, because Temple I think was in the Big East at least for football.
Yeah.
And then this past year I went with the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. So.
Oh, that's a good team.
So started them. They're on the West Coast.
They're tough to recruit with, though.
I found that, yes. I can never get a great Temple. At least I could get some. I've gotten some. I don't think I've ever gotten a 5-star recruit at Hawaii.
Yeah, it's
I've gotten
tough.
4-star recruits, but a Temple, you could get the 5-star recruits just because of the geographical area. But yeah, so Hawaii is it. I think the highest overall we've gotten to the team is like an 81.
Well, I'm looking forward to this year. Who did I see was on the cover this year? It was Malachi Toney. I know that.
He's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's real. How about the fact that
he's got 2 years of eligibility.
He's a true sophomore. He didn't redshirt. He was a true freshman last year.
He lit up.
Baby
that
Jesus,
college
man.
football
He's
playoffs.
incredible.
Baby Jesus. That's his real nickname. I mean, like, if you want to watch some good high school tape, like, what do you know? You don't know about Tavon Austin, do you?
I know about Tavon.
You know about the Tavon Austin highlight reel?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you then. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. Yes, because when we do get back, we are going to we didn't just do NASCAR for 1 week for the sake of saying we're going to do NASCAR for 1 week. We're going to head out again to the West Coast as NASCAR's on the West Coast for the first time ever. It is San Diego. It is on a aircraft base carrier, or was it on a base, a carrier? I can't remember. It's
on a
base.
If it was on a carrier,
That would be cool. Yeah.
well,
That's what they did for college basketball.
I know Michigan State versus North
Gonzaga.
Carolina. No, it's Michigan State UNC.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know it was.
That's-
I don't know because I think Gonzaga may have played in that tournament or something like that. But no, it was Michigan State versus UNC. I'm a diehard Carolina fan, so I remember that game. That was amazing. But yeah, let's take a quick break. We're gonna wrap up the show when we come back with a little coverage of NASCAR and Denny Hamlin going for 5 in a row, or is it gonna be SVG getting the road course win?
We're gonna find out.
We are. That's such a great tease, Ricky. Let's hit the break. At Pocono. No, it was a fun time. Did you have fun at Pocono?
Yeah, Pocono was a great time.
Ricky, how'd you think about Pocono?
Great for a first time there. I mean, I could see why people enjoy it. I can see why it was our dearly departed Elena's favorite thing to cover here.
She's not dead. She's
I know,
just
but
like
she's- yes.
2 hours away.
Yes, I know. But I could see why it was one of her favorite things to cover, even though she didn't like it before coming here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And NASCAR headed this week now to San Diego for a historic first. This will be the first time that they're racing at San Diego. This will also be the first time that they are racing on an a U.S. Navy base?
Yes,
Navy
naval
base,
base.
correct? Naval base. Do you know which one? Because I'm blanking. I'm sorry at the
I
moment.
can't remember the name.
But no, it'll be exciting. The only thing, though, I mean, again, it's a definite change in the fact that it's a road course. So, I mean, it throws off some of your traditional favorites that you would see at the top of the odds board, where Denny Hamlin, who's red hot right now, winner of 4 out of the last 5, winner of. No, sorry. Is it 4 of the last 5?
4 of the last 5 and 3 straight.
3 straight, yeah. He basically conceded already. I mean, when we were talking to him after Pocono, I know in the media bullpen, someone asked him, do you think that you're going to be able to make it 4 in a row? And he just looked at me and was like, no, it's a road course, not a chance. So, I mean, what are expectations for this weekend?
We're just gonna have to wait and see. It's a first
Oh,
time
no.
ever course.
Wait and see is a fine. Ricky, you're up.
Well, he did say, I'm not sure if it was his race manager or whoever, someone did say he did finish 4th at Chicago. So he's not completely out of it. Obviously, again, I do expect the streak to come to an end, unfortunately, but I think he still could have a top 10 finish. He
Okay.
could make it respectable.
And Nate, I'm just busting chops. I really am. But no, like legit here, teaching moment, not just for you, but anyone who's out there, who's listening, who is interested in this profession. Watch a guy like Sal Palantonio when he does his hits. Watch a Marty Smith. At the end of his hits, at the end of the live shots that he does or anything that he's doing, he always finishes with a fact. They always finish with something that you're going to remember because, yeah, absolutely, we are going to wait and see. That's what watching sports is. That's the joy and the beauty of watching sports is that once the game starts, you have no control, that we are just going to wait and see. So the last thing that people sitting at home want us as sports journalists to do is tell them we're going to wait and see. Or tell them the game starts at 1:00 on Sunday. Yeah, no, Sherlock, I can look that up. So I'm just busting chops here. Again, what do you think? What are your expectations for this? Not even race. I mean, what are your expectations for how they're going to put this together? Do you think it's going to look visually awesome?
I think it could, especially given all the limited space that they have to work with. I'm excited to see how the crews adjust because we've
NASCAR
seen
keeps
them go
finding
on
new
this
ways to
stretch
change
of
the game, and they've
courses
certainly
where
done
it's
that here
going
in San
from
Diego,
Michigan to
racing
Pocono
on an
to
active
now San
military
Diego. So
base
there's no
for the
real
very
room
first
for a
time.
game
These
plan. Every single
grandstands
week
will
has
be
had to
filled
be a
this
major
weekend,
adjustment,
and we're going to let
major
you know
tuning on the
everything you
cars
need to know
prepare for
in
these
4 things to
courses.
know.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when you have
on the naval base is going to be unpredictability
races
on steroids.
being entered
voice of this
into the
race
schedule
knows it,
like
and the course shows
San
it.
Diego,
3.5
there's only so many
miles,
weekends that
16
you
turns,
can get
and a
away. I
renovation
mean,
effort that
again, the
started in
Coca-Cola
the
600
spring.
is going to be on Memorial Day. That's just what it is. There's no getting around that. You know, Flag Day is going to be here in Pocono. You know, we are the Great American Getaway, so that's always going to be traditionally on your Flag Day weekend.
And so I think it was just getting to learn
Daytona
each other and
is
what the
always
priorities
Daytona
were and
weekend.
working
Talladega is
together
always
to ensure
Talladega.
that everybody was
Bristol
getting what
is
they needed
always.
to do
These
done.
are locked in stone. So when you have courses trying to expand and get onto the NASCAR calendar, it's hard sometimes to get on. But you know, ultimately, I think when any of the road courses, whether it be Sonoma, whether it be Chicago, whether it be Watkins, they're always it's like playing an option football team in the middle of your season. It's like scheduling Navy in the middle of your season. You know what I mean?
I do. It's
I'm sorry, Ricky. You went right to me, and then as soon as you went to me, I stopped talking. No, Ricky, it's your turn. It's your turn. It's like scheduling Navy in the middle of the season. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it sort of, again, throws sometimes unpredictability, I guess, going from Pocono all the way across the country to San Diego, especially, again, most schools have, you know, your first 4 weeks or that non-conference games in college football, and then rest of your schedule's kind conference games, but there's some schools that do it to Alabama. Like, for example, they have like, a UAB or a Louisiana State or, one of those smaller Division I schools throwing in the wrench. It's really, it throws a wrench into things, and it also messes with sometimes your mojo because you're expecting these heavy hitters week after week, and you get a change up here with an off-speed pitch coming to San Diego, a road course, especially for a guy like Denny Hamlin.
I love the fact that we went from NASCAR to college football to baseball in that analogy, and it all seemed to work. So we are running out of time both here tonight and this week. It is 8:57 p.m. We're finishing up on a Friday night. Ricky, what'd you learn this week?
What did I learn this week? Well, today I learned about different types of coverages at Pete Cordelli's QB camp. They were doing a little chalkboard treatment, talking about different coverages, what to defend, what different types of throws.
The Spider 2 Y banana
Not
man.
too much of that, just sort of breaking
Oh,
down
I love me some
defenses.
Spider 2 Y banana. What'd you learn this week?
Don't say wait and see.
Okay. Well, you know what else?
right.
When someone's trying to fill time, you don't finish with a one-word sentence. But that's good. I like that. No, you know what I learned about this week, Ricky?
What?
And you taught me this. I learned about good air versus bad air. And you were the one who taught me this.
And I learned that as well during when I was talking to racers. So
And actually, you know what? I have to close a loop. It's a loophole, and I'm closing the loop here. We're finishing up, and I'm closing the loop and using it to create a loophole in talking about the Knicks. I forgot to tell you what ticker tape was.
you did.
So the reason why ticker tape and the reason why ticker tape parades are so unique and so ingrained in the history of New York City, do you know why?
No.
Okay. Ticker tape is what the New York State Stock Exchange used to print on before digital. Do you remember those glass, like dome-looking things that you'd see in a movie? And they would like... So it was ticker tape. And when teams like the Yankees won championships back in the day, they would go down Broadway, which was through the heart of the financial district, and they would throw the ticker tape out of the windows. And that's why it's now called a ticker tape parade, even though they're just throwing confetti now.
Got it.
You guys don't care, do you?
That was a good history
I found it
lesson.
interesting.
Go Knicks. We're getting out of here for the week. We'll see you back here on Monday, right here exclusively on the CTV app. Download on Roku, Amazon, and Apple. For Ricky, for Nate, thank you for joining us. This has been WBRE, WYOU 2822 Sports Night.